כל השנה הלכות בכל יום מובטח לו שהוא מן העולם הבא. בעזרת השם, today is the 19th of the month of Tishrei, Wednesday, 4th day of the week of Parashat Shmini Shabbat Shmini Atzeret. Now let's not forget, today is the Yom Tov. ושמחת בחגיך והיית שמח ושמחת בחגיך והיית שמח La 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 la. No, the beautiful mitzvot today. Today there's two mitzvot the oraita of mitzvot kiddush Shabbat bevarim to sanctify the Shabbat with words. Right? There's three already. We have so far three kiddushot. Right? What do we have? Kiddashte et Bechor, Kiddashte et Shabbat. And very important mitzvah, which Baruch Hashem Bukharians used to be very much strong in it. And today it's very horrible to believe it. I saw when Bukharians, whenever they heard a Kohen not married, he would have a line of all the girls ready to get married to him. The fathers would just throw their daughters to them. Why? Because it says in the Torah, "V'kiddashta et Kohen." You have to sanctify the Kohen. Today it's haram. I see. I know so many Kohanim, Revakim. So many Kohanim are singles or divorced. And nobody cares. Nobody really cares. Nothing. Nobody tell you, when I was growing up, I was a child, I saw it. A Kohen just arrived from out of town to Borough Park, I remember. It was a line. I have a daughter. Everybody, right away, let's go. Because that's a very important thing. The Kohen. You have to sanctify him. Not just you have to sanctify him with words as we knew right now. There's a concept that when you speak a Kohen, you have to address a Kohen by his title. Reuven a Kohen, you can't just say Reuven. He's not your friend. He's not your, what's his name? A yo-yo. A Kohen is a Kohen. There's a chiyuv, obligation to honor him. Just like we have a chiyuv on obligating Shabbat. Just like we have a chiyuv to obligate and honor a Bechor. What do you say? Ach Gadol, right? The big brother. Bechor is like, you have to honor him like your father. Mamash like your father, not I'm talking to myself. I have a Bechor. Unfortunately, it's not religious, but we're trying our best. But sometimes it's very hard. But it's a work. We're not born perfect. We're supposed to work on ourselves. So I'm talking to myself literally. So now this is the mitzvah, sanctifying Shabbat. Make it kadosh. What it is, we'll now discuss how you do it. Mitzvah number 32. We're not allowed to work on Shabbat, so we have to refrain from any labor that will deviate us, and we'll learn right now what's the connection, why it's not so important. What bothers Hashem? Right? Hashem is in charge of the whole world. What does He care? I work on Shabbat. I made a little living. Come on, I need money, right? We all need parnasah today. Unfortunately, today more than ever. Who had a mortgage $5,000 100 years ago, every month? It's not unheard of. It was not heard of. A guy went ahead. He landed a piece of land. Wherever he was landing, he built it. If nobody came with guns to throw him out, he built a house. Finito. Took some wood or some bricks, whatever he could afford it, built a house. Nobody bothered him. Today, and that house probably is worth. Some guy in Africa built a house. I was looking over there. I got an email selling a home. I said, okay, let's see. $1.7 million. It was like 5 years ago. Maybe now it's already 20 million. Who knows? Mention. Some crazy guy decided 300 years ago in some a hole in the world over there, build a palace. A palace for his servants, this, but again, the whole property over there. Again, nobody cared. Today we have to go to work. So what's Hashem? Why is Hashem bothered that I work on Shabbat? I don't work on Shabbat. I have to pay bills. I have workers to sustain. I have tuitions to pay. If anything, the Goyim have no tuitions. We do. So there's many excuses for us to work, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want us. We'll see why. Bezrat Hashem, the mitzvot are sponsored today. The Nishmat. You have any names? Yaakov ben Emil Golda. Eran Chaim ben. Asher Yaakov. וגם. Any other names? Baruch el Baris. Baruch ben Mazal. Bechor, Baruch, probably is a Bechor. Bechor or Reuven, depends. If the father is Bechor, the firstborn is Reuven. If it's anything else, Bechor is always the first name. Baruch Hashem. Anyway, וגם לרפואה שלמה לכל חולם וישראל בכללם, לחיה בת לאה, יוסף חיים בנפרד, יעקב ישראל דניאל בן אנג'לה, וגם, רפואה שלמה,
חיים אליעזר בן שרה.
חיים אליעזר בן שרה, נטלי בת צוויטנה, וגם, רפואה שלמה כל העולם בישראל. All right, let's go. Let's delve into it a little bit. We just covered Rashi Prakim. That's 20 minutes about Rashi Prakim. We cannot go deeply into each mitzvah. It's going to take us years. But B'ezrat Hashem, we want to just be מעורר העניין. לדבר דברים ביום שבת בהכנסתו וכן ביציאתו. We have an obligation to discuss reverence or mentioning the sanctification of Shabbat when it comes in and goes out. שיהיה בהם זכר גדולת היום ומעלתו והבדלתו. So the rabbi right away already telling you, it's hinting to you what's going to be the foundation of this mitzvah is in order for us to remind ourselves and engrave in our hearts the importance and the greatness of the Shabbat. L'shevach mishar hayamim, to differentiate it from other the names, other the days of the week. L'shelefanav v'acharav, the days before him and after him. Zachor, as it says in the Torah, it says in chapter 20, pasuk 8, Zachor in Shmot, Zachor Yom HaShabbat L'Kaddesh, or you must sanctify the day of Shabbat to make it holy. Klomar, Zochreu Zecher Kedusha Ugduda. You have to sanctify, to remember that it's a holy day, and it's a great day. Pirush Amrudu Lanu Chachamenu. In Psachim, Gemara, Psachim over there, it tells us, the sages teach us, on page 106, the first side, שדברים אלה מצווים אנו לאומרן על היין, שכן הוא הפירוש זוכרהו על היין. As the sages already instituted, that it should be done over a course of wine, right? Or anything comes out of grapes, because that's the remembrance over the wine. What's going on? So you have option to either to have fresh wine, which again, in the olden days when we're talking about Gemara time, fresh wine will be dangerous. Fresh wine would be dangerous for you. You're supposed to have it mazuk. Mazuk means diluted. You're supposed to have diluted wine in the olden days. But the question is over here, the Gemara over there says for some reason gives you yain chai, which is not so healthy, but still with that respect, it will be maybe according to each person's physical sustenance, can he drink it or not? So maybe that's why. So some people could hold it, but most people were not able to drink fresh wine in the olden days. Now we talk about today. In the olden days, we have to understand that we're talking about only 1600 years ago. Rish Lakish, it says over there that he walked into Eretz Israel and he ate a grape, just a grape, 1600 years ago. Just eating one grape, he was drunk like a drunken sailor, literally. Not this is not about the kedusha, the holiness of fruits, the taste. I'm sure you all. I don't know how many years you're here, but I'm here unfortunately many years. And I still remember what a tomato tastes like from Tashkent. I still remember. There is no tomato in America. It's all fake. There's no grapes. Nothing. Just grapes, juice. It was like a different world. Everything is fake here. Literally, you could taste it, but it's not fake for no reason. One day we'll discuss. I have a lot of discussion about it on my channel. What caused it all? All right. Anyway. Okay, so you have to have more than 86 grams. Some hold 83 grams, but it has to be more than 86 grams. Just by us, Bukharians for sure. Should not have less than that. המזיגה ידועה שהיא על חלק אחד של יין חי וטוב 3 חלקי מים. So what do you have? Look what it says. Today, it's actually opposite. If you have grape juice mixed to half water, he's telling you 3 חלקי מים. So he tells you 3/4 cup water and 1/4 cup of wine. You understand what we're talking about here already? In his days, it looks like still the same thing. And this is not so long ago, for 600 years ago. Not so long ago.
So much water diluted.
3/4 of water and 1/4 of wine. That would be nice. That would be good. Today you have nothing. Today most of the grape juice today is asur to make a gift enough. You buy light one, forget it. Light one for sure is not good for us. You know the kedem light. It's a big safek if you're allowed to make a gift. They say because it's good to kosher. We Faradim stay away from this kind of things. Ashkenazim have a lot of quote. Okay, ומרחין עליו קידוש שבת כמו שידוע הנוסף בין היחיד, בייחודים, וכן ביציאת בשבת גם כן מברכים על היין לכבוד היום. Alright, so he says that you make all the brachot over it, and in the interest of Shabbat, and Avdalah, באותה ברכה של מוצאי שבת נקראת הבדלה. Okay, this is what, מששם מצווה זו, כדי שיתעורר מתוך מעשה זה לזכור גדולת היום. Again, this is all, again, the rabbi is, he already hinted to it, but he wants to reiterate the whole concept of this whole mitzvah is to engrave in us and to remember and constantly speak about the importance of Shabbat. And constantly, if a person is healthy, he should not be rushing through Kiddush. Yom HaShishi, the Bukharians used to say it. Like, taking 5 minutes to say Kiddush. Hi, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's so important? You think he cares about his voice? That's not what he's doing. In olden days, there's a kavanah, there's intention, imamash. You're supposed to be imagine yourself standing right now, Yom HaSeh Brishit. Right? The 10 Ma'amarot of Hashem. You're supposed to imagine all that. Yom HaShishi, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you completed, everything was completed, and now we're going to Shabbat, and you're supposed to enjoy it. Today, everybody's in a rush, because we're hungry and this and that. Everybody's weak, by the way. But if a person, my Rebbe used to say, we're not a restaurant here. my Rebbe, he reads a lot of kavanot of Ben Ishchai before the Kiddush, if you have the Siddur. So he reads the people, hello, this is not a restaurant. You want to go to the restaurant, you came to the wrong place. Here we do everything he wants to say. It's supposed to be neimud, it's supposed to be mitoreret. It has to be constantly, our brain. I tell people, Coca-Cola, how much... I was in college 30 years ago in Queens, so they told us that there was a billboard on 34th Street. 34th Street billboard. There was a big sign, Coca-Cola. They paid $1 billion a month, or a year, $1 billion, just to have that little thing flashing. Constantly people, enjoy Coca-Cola, enjoy Coca-Cola, enjoy Coca-Cola. Why? Your number one drink for the past 100 years. What do you want? People can forget. People constantly forget. We don't have brains. We're too much busy. The guy comes in, he sees a 79 cents, what is it called? I don't even know what it's called today. So many different Coca-Colas and ShopRite Coke. This Coke, that Coke, 79 cents. Regular Coke is 99 cents. If he doesn't have in his mind that the 99 cents is good, he'll take the 79 cents. So Coca-Cola prefers to spend $1 billion. Today's probably a month to spend that much money. It's crazy. Right? So that's the concept. The concept is we have constantly remind ourselves. We have to understand we're humans. We're humans. If we don't do it, if you don't interact in this way, children will forget. You will forget what Shabbat is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. מזה השורש אמרו זכרונו לברכה, שאם הפת חביב על האדם יותר, שיקדש על הפת, כי אז מתעורר טבעו יותר למה שהוא חטאר. Now, we know that most people are enjoying good wine. Like today, I tell everybody, haram, we're waiting. Somebody makes an announcement for wedding, they wait 3-4 months to get married. Haram, what is he doing? When the Gemara gave you heterim, people were hungry, didn't have food. Today you could buy a bottle of wine, $150, $200 bottle of wine every Shabbat. And you're telling me you can't afford a wedding? In a week, a wedding should be done already. 1, 2, 3, halas. But some people don't like wine. They like a good, nice, delicious, what's the name called? Sourdough bread. And it smells like, you know what? Don't make it on sourdough. Kiddush on the sour bread. No problem. Just change the bracha and make hamotz lechem min haaretz. Wash your hands beforehand. Everybody sit down. Hamotz lechem min haaretz. The kiddush, it's etzem. The structure of kiddush should be done. Everything that we do, and just interject instead of b'rei gefen, he makes hamotz, and that's what he needs. That again, if that's preferable, the whole point over here is now that you should be enjoying and it should be mitorer in you the inyan. So it's not lav davka. The rabbis told you, yeah, wine. That's it. The world has to collapse. It has to be wine. No, it depends on the preference and what's good for a person. Each person should know what is good for him. If he likes to enjoy wine, mistama, it's not going to be good for him to make hamotz, kiddush, because he enjoys wine anyway. It is well, but in certain cases where people can handle wine, okay, can handle wine, make hamotz. There's a lot of rules over there. Will be discussed. The halacha will be discussed mainly in Masechta Pesachim, page 100, 107 over there, and also Masechta Brachot, page 43, first side, second side, page 51, second side, page 53, second side about the importance of Kiddush Shabbat. Something to notice over here. He didn't bring you anything with Masechta Shabbat. He didn't give you any Mekorot of Masechta Shabbat. Even Brachot, the second page. נמדנה עבודה זכרונה לברכה, שאנשים חייבות בקידוש והבדלה. Page 20 in Brachot over there tells us that women are obligated to say Kiddush on, what's his name, for Shabbat and Abdallah, even though the entirety of Shabbat, women have only one thing, which is Mitzvoth Lotas, right? The rules are that the only time Mitzvoth Los Azman Gramai, movement of Pratur from a mitzvah that depends on time, it's only if it's not Lotas. So the Gemara over there learns out even Shabbat there's a connection where Shabbat she is obligated Kiddush. Technically she shouldn't be obligated Kiddush. Like she's not obligated the Lulav and the Trog. She's not obligated Sukkah. Right? But how come Kiddush she's obligated? So the Gemara over there, page 20, Masach Brachot will explain. Over Aliyah. V'lo Kiddush Shabbat b'dvarim, chas v'shalom, a person did not sanctify the day with words. He is not fulfilling this mitzvah. Number 31. Now, let's say he can't eat, what's his name? Wine and drink wine. He cannot eat bread. Can't. A guy, I don't know whatever. All the doctor, refrigerator. So he did on something else. Okay. According to Torah, he's fulfilled the mitzvah. As long as he's sanctifying Shabbat, that's why we do on Tefillah. The first thing we have Yom HaShishi there, right? The whole thing, everything is mentioned in the Tefillah to fulfill the mitzvah of this concept. What's his name? I don't know what's the minhag over here. Friday night after Chazarah, they do Yom HaShishi or they start Vayehulu. Vayehulu. Warren minhag was always Yom HaShishi. Just to let you know. I don't know why this stuff. I know Rav Vadia is not the halacha. I say Yom HaShishi, but my children already, because the new generation is coming. But right now in Hollywood, all the shuls Yom HaShishi, they start. Not a problem. All the Moroccans still do it. Bulgarians do it. Some reason in where Rav Vadia was very strong. Even in Hollywood, where I live, Rav Vadia is very strong there. But this they didn't take from him. Yom HaShishi, they say all the time. It's a big machlokes. If you already started, not without it, shouldn't change. We don't, just let you know. But again, the concept is that the people, those that cannot do Kiddush at home, that will be Yotze. That will be Yotze. And another thing is, according to Halacha, sanctify Shabbat does not mean Yom HaShishi v'yechulu Hashem v'aretz v'chol tzva'am, and then 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or a half hour later, or 5 hours later, after your meal, you're all satisfied. Hey, we sold 10,000 etrogim. It was nice business. Habibi, Shabbat is not to do with business. That's the sanctification. It's part of the sanctification. It's actually asur. Many Sifrei Halachot, they write you're not allowed to talk about business. It's not optional. That's also maybe will be under this mitzvah that a person who starts talking about business or talks about other ventures, again, things that are prohibited. To talk, I bought a boat, 100-yarder, and this and that, what I did, or about this house for $1 million, not a problem. That's the Varim Ba'alma. But we're talking about now business. That's not business anymore. Whatever passed, has passed. Or if the guy is selling, you know what, I bought 10 million hinges for 50 cents. And he's letting people know that he has those 10 million hinges. He wants to sell them, right? For himself. That will be asur. Even though it's Varim Ba'alma. We just said, what about Rabbi? You just told me if I bought a house. Listen, if he says, I bought 10 million hinges 3 months ago and I sold them at 50 cents profit, okay, kol hakavod, no problem. I don't know why he would be bragging, but let's say, that's not a problem. But to tell somebody I have merchandise, that will be asur. That will be a person, obviously, dealing business. That's why many shuls don't allow magazines on Shabbat that have listings of businesses, listings of properties, listings this, listings that. Because now a person is looking at it on Shabbat, it's going to be giving him machshava, and that's also prohibited. It's going to be, what's his name? It's going to be, he's not fulfilling the mitzvah of Kiddush. Kiddush means sanctifying Shabbat. Shabbat is only Shabbat. Is it? So the person always have to think, how you know? Whatever you're doing now, is it for Shabbat or not? That's how we fulfill the mitzvah number 31. Anyway, let's just go quickly to mitzvah number 32. Shabbat. If anybody has to go, you could leave. No questions. I have no problem. As this recording goes like into YouTube, people. I talk to myself most of the time anyway. There is a prohibition on doing mitzvah number 32. Now, anybody told you Asarat Dibrot means 10 commandments is not a serious person, unfortunately. Asarat Dibrot actually has 13 commandments, 14. 14 commandments. Okay, we started from 25. Anochi Hashem Elokecha asher hotzitechem me'eretz Mitzrayim. It's going to be 25. That's the mitzvah of knowing Hashem. 26, knowing that there is no other known but Hashem. And it goes, enumerates, then goes all the way to 38, I believe. To 38. Mitzvah is not tahmod, right? Not to have jealousy. Mitzvah is 37. No, 38. No lahmod. So basically you have 14 mitzvot of the Oraita in Asara Dibrot. This is the 10 commandments people misguidedly talk about. They're not serious people, they're not learning. Asara Dibrot does not mean 10 commandments. Asara Dibrot exactly means Asara Dibrot. And within those Asara Dibrot, there are 14 commandments actually. 14 mitzvot the Oraita. Okay? So now we're doing mitzvah number 32. Tomorrow is going to be a very important one. Get that to listen. 33 will be honoring your father and mother. Wow. Okay. Well, tomorrow we'll have what to say. Hopefully. Well, שלא לעשות מלאכה בשבת, 32. What does that mean? We are prohibited to do any labor on Shabbat. ולא נניח לעשות לבנינו ועבדינו ובהמותינו שלהם. Okay? Now, nobody, not your family members, not your children, nothing that is under your guidance, either your leadership or either your possessions, they're all prohibited. If even our animals are prohibited to do any work on Shabbat. Shneimar, as it says, chapter 22, 20, Shmot, Pasuk Yud, and Lo ta'aseh kol malacha. It says there, you're prohibited to do any labor. So what is going on here? ואין ספק כי אף על פי שהכתוב הוציא אסור המלאכה בנו ובבנים ובעבדים ובהמות בלאו אחד, even though we understand the rabbi says that everybody is enumerated in this prohibition of one prohibition, that everyone who is related to us, children, anything that belongs to us is prohibited to work. שאין העניין שווה כי העושה מלאכה בגופו יתחייב מיתת בית דין אם הוא מזיד. So the truth of the matter is, in reality, one of the beautiful things about chinuch, he doesn't tell us just the concept of mitzvah. He's also telling us the end result of a punishment, which is very important. The punishment, I tell people all the time, from punishment that's enumerated, you could now understand the reward, right? So, like for instance, what's the punishment for not putting on tefillin? Nobody knows, right? Because it's not in Torah. But actually, people who learn Gemara, Rosh Hashanah, they'll know the punishment. The punishment of not putting on tefillin is worse than Mechadat Shabbat and worse than killing, murdering, and raping and doing all the world averot in the world. Not putting on tefillin is actually worse. Why? Well, that says Gemara Kiddushin and Shabbat. So Shabbat Gemara Rosh Hashanah page 11 or 14. I'm not sure. It tells you that if a person doesn't put on tefillin, when he dies, he doesn't want to put on tefillin. Dafka, he doesn't want to put on tefillin. Tefillin is not for him. Like in Israel today, you have crazy people that they're fighting this whole thing that the Lubavitch should be removed. Don't put on tefillin publicly. There's a big fight. So the punishment for that, the Gemara outlines something out of this world. A person dies for 12 months, as we know, the Gehinnom, the Roshaim are judged in the Gehinnom. For 12 months he gets judged. If it's more, it's more. If he did other desecrations, we know it's 100 years for each time a person touches a woman that's not married to him, so he's married to somebody else. So it's 100 years in Gehinnom. It's not 1 year anymore. So let's say all the averot, the guy did it and he was on purpose and he gets punished now. It could be 1,000, 10,000 years in jail, in hell. Who knows, right? Every time, certain averot. After all that, they burn him and they clean him and they burn him and they clean him and they burn him and they clean him. The Gemara says his neshama evaporates after that. Why? He didn't put on tefillin. Let's get to that mitzvah. He didn't fulfill the mitzvah aseh. We're not talking about lo aseh. So you see from here that if somebody is mechalel Shabbat and he did znut with women, but he put on tefillin, that will protect him. In the end, after 10,000 whatever years, his finished punishment, he's gonna enjoy Olam Haba. But this person doesn't put on tefillin, so you see the reward, how important the reward is. Imagine putting on tefillin every day. We think it's a small thing. What do you mean? Chas v'shalom. What all the people all the suffering come to us because we're not doing mitzvot with joy. If I just told you just now what tefillin is, you should be dancing when we put on tefillin. Baruch atah Hashem lehaniach tefillin with a simcha, with joy. Imagine the zchut that we have. So now we have Shabbat. Now we're learning prohibition of Isur, and there's more than that. There's punishment. Anyone who does malacha and he gets a warning, and he doesn't and doesn't care, he gets killed right away. But they didn't. They stone him. The worst punishment. ובמלאכת אחרים אף על פי שמוזהר עליהם, לא יתחייב עליהן אפילו מלכות, שאין מלכין לעולם במעשה אחרים. But let's say his child or his wife went ahead and did something, right? So if it's a wife, she gets warning. Okay, now she prohibits, she does against Allah. She gets killed, obviously. His servants didn't get warning, but they did on his command. His servants or his wife, his children, everybody, he doesn't get no punishment, not even lashes. Why? Because in reality, he didn't do anything. He's physically, and there's no such thing as called, we discussed 2 days ago, you can't send message, you can't make people to do avirot. It's their problem. A person goes ahead and he goes to a restaurant and he says, I'm eating taref and the rabbi lied to me, it's his problem. No, it's your problem. You're eating taref. You're the one who's eating the taref. You can't say, oh, it's the mashgiach. Mashgiach is going to get his hell. The rabbi is going to get a big hell because it says he's over different. He lied to people. He said it's kosher. It's not kosher. That he's going to get punished. But it's not going to diminish your sin for eating not kosher food. It's your sin. You're obligated to check, make sure who you relied on. It's not a simple thing. Again, it's all about whoever does the avera, not the person who follows the person to do the avera. ומראשון הרמב"ם זכרונו לברכה, הלכות שבת, משמע שהוא סובר כי עליו הזה דלא תעשה כל מלאכה אתה ובהמתך, יבוא למחמר אחר בהמתו. כגון שחורש בה וכלי המחריש בו ידו, יהיו לו במחמר לבד, לפי דעתו אין בו אלא איסור עשה. So he says like this. According to Rambam explains, what happens is you put a yoke on your animal and you let it plow on its own. In that case, you will not get punished. You didn't do anything. But if you're walking with the plow, even though, what are you doing? You're just holding the plow, right? Or whatever. You're not the one who's doing the harisha. It's the animal. Rambam says, no. If he gets a warning, he gets killed for it, according to Rambam. Because he's actually, even though it's his animal, but I guess it's there, he's guiding it, in that case, he will be chayav mitad. Levad, okay. לפי דעתו שזה הלאו המחמר הוא דלאו שניתן להזהרת מיתת בית דין. כלומר, שאדם נהרג על זה ואין לו קין עליו. So over there, that according to Rambam, he explains, Rambam is going to argue. פוס עליו, הרבה בפירושו זה, ואמר, כי לאו זה של מחמר אינו אלא בהולך אחר בהמתו, התאונה מסועי, אבל האדם לא תיעשה שום מעשה בידו, לכן לא יבוא עליו לעולם, לא מלכות ולא מיתה. It could be more opposite, right? According to Rambam, he's guiding his animal with a yoke, and the animal is plowing. He gets killed. According to Ramban, Rav Nachman, right? So he says no. Rav Moshe ben Menachem, Nachman it is. It's 300 years later. But again, so anyway, he says no. He'll get nothing. He's walking with the animal. What do you want from him? He's guiding the animal. You're right, but he's not doing the chilul himself. There's no did here. He's not doing actually before anything. Unless you're telling me that he has to press it down. Maybe it's a weaker, but most of the yokes you don't press down anything. Because the yoke is probably heavier than this Aron HaKodesh with the Sefer Torah 10 times. The metal piece, they just put it in and it goes on its own, it plows. Unless maybe unless he's actually doing the malacha, but he's not. Even here, he's not doing bayadayim, right? He's doing the harisha. He's just guiding the animal. Is he really doing the harisha? Because without the animal, he's not doing anything. And we have a rule: any avira, another rule, any avira that's done by two, it's not isudoraita anymore, unless that's the way it's done. So maybe I don't know. According to Rambam, it is. According to Rambam, it's not. Okay, let's go quickly. There's a lot to talk about. But Shem mitzvah. What's the purpose of this mitzvah? Well, I just told you in the beginning, right? Why does Hashem care if I need work? I need parnasah. No. The inyan here is Hashem. I have allergies. Yesterday, nothing to do with Colorado. It has to do with the plane. Something in the plane happened. Usually it happens when I fall asleep in the plane. Some kind of air goes into my nose and finishes. It kills me for a day. It's an allergic reaction. Anyway. So the problem is over here. Hashem wants us not to be busy with anything else, right? Anyway, the whole parnasah business. Right? Somebody says, Rabbi, I have to do my ishtadlut. What do you mean you have to do ishtadlut? The rabbi, I heard from a friend, a friend, I'm talking about maybe 20, 30 years ago already, from him this beautiful line he says, ishtadlut, it's taxes. Ishtadlut means you have to do something, it's taxes. I don't see Jews running to pay taxes so much. So, depends how much tax you want to pay. It's gonna right now Rosh Hashanah Kippur. It's already decreed already how much you're gonna make. So what are you doing? No, I have to go to work because I have to make parnasa. Who told you? Where you come? Who told you that? No, ishtadlut. So that's go ahead. Shabbat is not to do with ishtadlut. You don't do nothing. Shabbat, we want you to be busy with one thing. No, mitzvah number 32 and many others. Kiddush Shabbat, sanctify Shabbat. You can't have a mind if you're always in a rush. You don't have stability. You have to be stable and relaxed. That's one of the reasons over here of this mitzvah number 32. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come to you and He's going to guide you. Babychka, you want to have a good life. You want to fulfill mitzvah number 31. Do mitzvah number 32. Don't do any work. Don't refrain from everything. Refrain for yourself. Make sure you're busy and you allow yourself allowance to be busy with Torah, with Kiddush Shabbat and Bezrat Hashem. Look at that. Even Melechet Machshevet. Let's just finish. This mitzvah is this prohibition. It's anywhere, not just in Eretz Israel. It's all over the world, men and women. It's called anyone who went ahead and he did the Avera on purpose with witnesses warning him. He gets stoned. Okay? No, the rule is general rule. Throughout the whole mitzvah we're going to be learning. Then if there is a witnesses giving a warning, he gets punished. Did not. The whole purpose of the warning is to differentiate between by mistake or on purpose. Now, he's going to mention it many times again, but it's again to instill in us this importance of learning of how to learn. What does that mean? A work that the person does with his mind. אבל עשה בשוגג, שלא ידע שאותו יום היה שבת, או שלא ידע שמלאכה זו אסורה בשבת, מביא קורבן חטאת קבוע. So what is מלאכת מחשבת? מלאכת מחשבת is that in his mind the Shabbat was missing. It's not Shabbat today. Or he didn't know this malacha is asur on Shabbat. So that's called mלאכת מחשבת, knowledge. The sin was done without his real knowledge. So in that case, he would have to bring a korban in the Beit HaMikdash. That would be considered a shogeg. B'ezrat Hashem, we'll continue mitzvah number 33. Just to let you know, Kibbut Av Vayem is very important, and Hashem will help us to fulfill the mitzvah. Just to leave a little hint, Gemara asks, who is the luckiest person in the world? Who would you think is the luckiest person in the world? Huh? The luckiest? No. We're talking about every generation. Huh? Mother-in-law. The luckiest person, the Gemara says, is a person who his mother got pregnant, his father died. And then when he was born, his mother died. That is the luckiest person, a human being in the world. Why? Because he doesn't have the sin of not honoring his parents. Very, very big mitzvah. Anyway, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Have a wonderful Chag Sameach.